Hi, good morning, guys. Hope just give me yes if you can hear me loud and clear. My voice is clear. You can see me. Just say yes in the chat box. Guys, I want to hear from all of you. Just we'll use this chat box to engage, in the, because we cannot see you. You are not here. So only the energy will get transferred to the chat box. So whenever we say something to type, please do that. Okay. I can see and I can read your comments. So anything is there, please don't hesitate. Just type. We are here all to in a workshop to learn. Okay, and we will do lots of activity, guys. It's going to be really fruitful session for all of you. That is my promise to all of you. Okay, and I hope you all are excited to be in this workshops. Type EX if you are excited. Type EX if you are excited to be in the workshop. Great. Good, Ankur. Shang. I can see many of you who have already attended my previous sessions. Few maybe even new. Great. So guys, before we start, let us first see that rules which I had shared with you. And let us check with that, whether you are tuned with that. Okay. So hope all of you have taken printout. That is the topmost activity. So write yes in the chat box if you have already taken that printout of that workbook. Yeah, because we will be doing lots of activity. It will be much easier for you if you have taken, and your takeout from this program will be a lot more. Okay. So that is the first activity. And then we request to attend. If you can open your video, that will be best. Okay. So if you can do that, we can see, I can see Rohit. Hi, Rohit.
Yes, sir.
Lovely to relate with name and faces, right? So it's always, we can see you, at least see your faces. So we'll come to know whether, what is your reaction with whatever we are sharing. Apart from Rohit, anyone else and courageous enough to open that video? Don't worry, we are just starting. Nobody is going to judge you. Just go ahead and open your, Ninad has opened. Great. Thank you, Ninad. Yes. Hi. Anyone else? Please open. Feel free. We all are friend here. We are going to learn together. Yeah, now I can see many of you, Raja, Bala, and Sangumesh, Hitesh. Great. See you all. Very nice to see you all. And the third activity, which is, I hope you have joined with laptop. It will be much easier for you guys to participate and see whatever we are presenting. That will be much better. If you don't have laptop or you cannot access, don't worry. Even I think in mobile also, you'll be able to see that. Okay. Keep yourself on muted. We are not controlling or muting anybody. Anytime. See, we will be opening in the in between. We'll have some time for question answer. Okay. So if you see that workbook, in the last page, we have a section for question answer. That is called parking lot. So you just anytime while we are going through this session, if you feel any questions you have, please feel free to write that. And whenever we ask, you can unmute also. We will share a link where you can post that question, or at the same time, you can post in the chat box also. But don't always try to put questions in chat box. We are keeping chat box to just interact. You transfer the energy which you are having. So we are using for that. So park your question in parking lot. We will have some time in between multiple times for answering your question answer. Okay. So good with that. Okay. And in, yes, what is else which is compulsory? So we will be actively participating in some activities because it's a workshop. You have to do some activity. I'm not only one who will be performing. Okay. You have to participate and keep your activity ready with sharing with all of you. So other thing is, yeah, I think we are done. We are set to go ahead with that webinar. So before we start, just like to introduce our company and myself, and along with me, I have one more guest, and name is Jayendra Qureshi. Many of you might be knowing him. I'll just introduce himself. So first of all, let us start with our company. The company brand is Scootwad, and it's by main companies MCAT Solutions. And see, the purpose of this company, we are doing engineering services to lots of big client. We provide engineering services, but then we felt there is lots of gap between engineering education which we go in the colleges and in the industry. So we thought, why not to create courses to bridge that gap? See, we already providing lots of courses to professionals. Okay, so we thought, why not? I felt that definitely these things can be even done by engineers. So when they join industry, they will be well prepared for that, right? So thinking in that, so these courses are whatever we are launching, it's not new. Already it is done for very long time for professional engineers. Now we want to just modify and to give it to college students so that they are completely ready with when they come to industry. Okay, so that is what is the journey. We started in 2018, so we have now 5 years of total experience in this industry. Mainly we are focused in mechanical and allied branches. For colleges, we are also bringing electrical courses. Okay, so slowly we'll be building on whatever we are courses which we are providing. So myself is Abhishek Singh, and I am a mechanical engineer, graduated from NIT Suratkal in 2007. I have total now 15 years of experience, and I have been in always in design field, and that is the reason I always make courses for design, mainly the static equipment. If you guys might have heard of, it's a pressure vessel design, which is called static in industry. Any pressurized container which is static, we do the design of that, and we also have courses related to that. Okay, I will introduce Jayendra Qureshi. I'll just tell him to come here. We can if somebody might have not seen, he is Mr. Jayendra Qureshi, and he is a production engineer. He has done his the branch of his study was production engineering, and he has total 16 years of experience now. He has been in multiple fields, starting from marketing to planning, and also organization excellence. Lots of different roles he has played. Okay, and he has been involved in education sector also. So now we are combinedly trying to build lots of courses which can benefit you all. Okay, so thank you, Jayant, for coming, and we will discuss about lots of things which are going to come. Jayant also will be presenting you lots of activities we'll do together. Okay, so guys, ready to start? Just type ready. If you are ready, just type ready. Ready, just type ready. Be engaging, guide. I can see the energy from only the chat box. So, okay, I hope you can understand that. So type ready. Yeah, I think almost everybody is ready to take this journey with us. So see, I think you might have already got the idea what we are going to present. So see, the purpose is that, see, we do engineering, but we don't know actually what industry does, what different roles we play in industries. Okay, so unless we are not aware what are the different roles and different industries, how will select a best role for us? How will select our dream placement? Okay, dream placement, guys, is not always about money. It's not about CTC you get. Okay, you will be very fast you will get bored with the work if you are not enjoying it. Okay, so it's very important that whatever you have dreamed, so you guys have selected mechanical engineering, so I hope you have passion for that and you have something in mind, and that is the reason you have selected this department. So if you want to continue with the core sector, what are the different core sectors, what are the different roles which we do in that core sector? That is what our first target for this webinar. We will be having lots of webinars coming and we'll be engaging you guys for that. But this program is solely based on that. Okay. And the biggest outcome of this, guys, see, this is not just a webinar, it's a workshop. So there has to be some takeaway for you. That is the reason we have created a workshop, and there is a workbook where you will be filling the different skills which you have, so that the judgment of which role is most suited, lots of judgment will come today itself. Isn't this amazing? Write amazing in the chat box if you feel this is amazing, that today itself you will get lots of clarity on for which role you are most suited. Isn't this amazing? Thank you. Thank you. So that is what is our intention, guys, so that before you join industry, you should know what industry is and which role you are most suited for. Okay, so let us start. And yeah, we'll start with some memes. So see, this is our journey. Normally in colleges, 10 days left, 10 chapters left, one chapter per day I will complete. So I'll start 10 days. No, then 5 days are gone. Only 5 days is left. So now 2 chapters per day. Still we don't start. 2 days left. Now 10 chapters left. 5 chapters per day. It's okay. We can do it. Okay. But finally it comes down to 10 hours left and every chapter to be completed, and we do it. Okay. 1 hour, one chapter. That is what normally our approach. One more. See, this is me. My passion is something else, but I selected engineering. Okay, because that is the straightaway path. We either think as a medical or engineering. These are the only two stream. Generally, if you are good in studies, people will recommend. Okay, if you are a little bit lower, then they will recommend commerce. If you don't want to do anything, then they will suggest art. Okay, but this is completely wrong path. Okay, we'll not discuss in that, but that is not how it is. Every subject is important, and it has if you are passionate about anything, you can make a big in that. So next thing, engineering, what my friends think I do. I'm a nerd. I used to read a lot. My mom is thinking that I am doing some work on automobile, car. Okay, so like a mechanic. What society think I do? I'm creating something big. Okay, government thinks I'm just launching rockets. Okay, what I think, it's like Einstein. Okay, but what I'm really doing, I'm just opening some social media and reading some post. Okay, that is the journey. See, these are all memes. So just for fun, we have included. We wanted a sniper in our hands. What we have is this. Civil engineers will be able to relate with that. Now, see, lots of memes, lots of jokes about engineers, but what actually we are? We are the one who create these things. Okay. Burj Khalifa, all are made by finally engineers, right? We have made things which we can see, we can feel. It's not some fairy tales. It's not left on imagination. Real things we built. We work on real things. Okay, lots of wonders we have created. I hope you guys can identify all these pictures. Okay, this is also in India. This bridge in Assam, right? Jen? So these are the wonders. A very huge 12,000 ton crane. It's also a wonder in itself. So all these things are created by finally mechanical engineers or production engineers, or in fact engineers in core industries. Okay, so lots of marvels you can see in which are created by us. Now see, science can amuse and fascinate all of us, but it is engineering that changes the world. Okay? We are more towards doing. We are the doers. See, scientists study the world as it is, like what has been, what is the background, how it is created. But what we do, we create the world which never has been there. Okay. These things are just to put some good feeling about you. Sometimes we get demotivated by so the best thing is, guys, if you want to do something, you have to be motivated. You have to love yourself. Whatever you are doing, you are the best. Okay, now this slide, the ideal engineer is a composite of what? See, we are not a scientist. We are not in a scientist category. We are not even mathematicians. We are not sociologist or a writer. But what we do, we use the knowledge of everything. We use science, we use mathematics, we use sociologists, we create content, we combine all the techniques and solve the engineering problems, right? We solve the engineering problems by learning and utilizing all the activities. Okay, so what are the major branches in engineering, guys? I hope you everyone is aware. We'll just bring it for you. Automobile. See, most of the colleges may have, may not have, but few core branches we want to just highlight: automobile, chemical, civil engineering, computer science, electrical, electronics, mechanical. So when I say core branches, automobile, chemical, civil, electrical, electronics, mechanical, all these are core branches. Computer, IT, these we called IT sector. Okay, so I hope you guys are aware with that. So this program is mainly focused on mechanical and it's allied. Mainly anybody is in core, it will be useful. Okay, so now once you are finished, you are at this stage, right? You are either doing diploma or degree. Most of you might be doing degree. So now what is next? Okay, what are the different path you can take from here? Okay, you can go for further studies, right? That is one thing you can do. You can also get self-employed. You can start a company of yourself. Okay, so you can be self-employed, or you can go for your dream job, right? These are the three options. Now see, if you are going for further studies, it's a good thing. You can definitely proceed with the further studies. See, studies is never going to it will give you in multiple times of return. Okay, so don't hesitate if you have to study. That is the best thing which we can do. Okay, we can Be self-employed, but as a personal opinion, I will not suggest you to go for self-employment right now, because very little you have known for the industry. So first target some learning, join some job, learn whatever things you are interested in, so that from academic to industrial, see, there is a huge gap, huge gap in industry and whatever we study in academy. So before starting on your own, just see where that word exists, where you can make the difference, and then few years of experience you can go for self employment, starting of something on your own. Okay, so that will not suggest for you to as an immediate action. So you can go for dream job. Okay, so that if you are targeting dream job, then our webinar is focused on that. Okay, we are trying to guide you that what are the different roles in industry which exist for core branches, and what are the different skills required for those, you know to perform those roles in that core branches. Okay, so the focus of our this webinar is your dream job, how you will find the dream job. Okay, so now what are the core sectors, guys? Can you just type in chat box whatever, you know you can write in the workbook also. We have which page it is actually. Let me just, I'll guide you which page we are talking about. So we are talking about the second page. Okay, and in the second page you see there are lots of sectors. So what we want you to do, this is our first activity, guys. So what we want you to do is that for different sectors which we have listed down on the left hand side, you just decide what are the core sector as per your information right now. Just tick on the, in front of that sector which you feel is a core sector. Okay, what is right or wrong, don't worry about that. Okay, just type tick mark. You can, make a circle, whatever you want, make a tick mark or circle in front of the sector which you think is a core sector, which we call as a core sector or core industries. Okay, for mechanical or allied, civil, chemical, we're talking about all the core branches. Once you are done, once you have marked, just type done in the chat box. Once you are done with that, once you have done with filling of that second page of the workbook, just type done in the chat box. So guys, if you have not taken printout of this workbook, don't worry, just write it down. Just open the workbook in front of you, that PDF. I hope you have already received that. So just open that workbook and start writing in that workbook. Okay, you can write it down whatever we have mentioned in the left. Okay, so now we have started done coming, 2 dones already. We'll wait for a few more. So I'll repeat again. We want you to highlight, as per you, what is core sector? What are the different sectors or industry which we say as a core industries? Okay. Okay, we have lots of them. We'll still just wait for a few minutes for others to complete that. Done, sir. Done, sir. Great, great, great. Good. Lots of done. So shall we move forward? Yeah. Now let us see what are actually the core sectors. Okay. we will give you some example of these core sectors. Oil and gas. If you have ticked marked oil and gas, you are absolutely right. Oil and gas is the biggest sector which employs the core branches. You know how many people are employed? 6 million, means 60 lakh people are employed in oil and gas sector alone. And if we add up the related further similar uh, sectors, roughly 10 million people are employed in that. So it's a very big sector, guys, very big sector for core branches. Defense. Yeah, it's very, defense is getting lots of promotion from government because of made in India projects. So lots of private companies are, see, earlier only government companies were doing work in defense. Still the topmost company from where you will get order will be government only. But there are lots of companies supporting that government company. Okay, so that is a defense sector. Aerospace, again, controlled by government, but supported by private companies. Okay. Fertilizer and power plant. Okay. Fertilizer, power plant, chemical, pharma, all this will come into this. Okay. These are the core industry where almost all the departments will be required. Electronics, electrical, mechanical, civil, chemical, okay, metallurgist, all the department works in fertilizer, power plant, and also in oil and gas. Okay. And there is a differentiation in the scope of work which we perform. Okay, in at least in oil and gas and fertilizer sector. If you are in defense and aerospace, that is very combined sector. You know, any activity will be linked with lots of electronics. You know, mechatronics branches comes very handy in that. Okay, but oil and gas, fertilizers, there is no concept of mechatronics. Mechatronics exists for defense, aerospace. Okay, nuclear. Actually, to just give you an idea, this is the industry where both myself and Jen started his career as a nuclear engineer. So we are very lucky that we started our career with nuclear because the learning was tremendous. So you have to do everything very accurately. You have to abide by rules of code standards. So that got us into habit of reading codes, doing things very, in a very particular manner, very systematic with the task lists. So that is the nuclear for you. Still controlled by government. Very few private companies are involved in nuclear. Okay, so small sector compared to an automobile. Okay, so mainly as a mechanical, what our perception is when we join mechanical engineering, that we are going to automobile. Okay, we always see cars and fancy bikes, and we think that that is what we are going to design as a mechanical. That is not true. Okay, measure of you is going to work in oil and gas or fertilizer. Guys, I'll just invite Jan to start from here. Okay, and let us take this journey ahead with Jandra.
Hello guys, good morning to all of you. You see, I am feeling very happy today, very happy. The reason being today is a Sunday, and I can see you guys coming on a Sunday. That speaks a lot about your commitment for yourself. See, this presentation is not for us. This workshop is not for us. This workshop is for you. So this really means to me that you guys are attending this workshop, and I'm really happy. I'm feeling on cloud 9 today. Thanks a lot for coming today. Now let me start with the presentation. Okay, from here onwards, I know I will take you to the journey. Okay, then again, after some time, Abhishek will come over. So Abhishek, already talked about the core sectors. So you see, when we say sectors or industries, there will be group of entities, which would be working for those sectors, or there will be group of organizations, I would say very specific, would be working for oil and gas sectors. So now let's see what are this group of people who come together as an organization and work. Okay, so that's the main purpose of this slide. So for an example, when we talk about an organization, which would be working for one of the core sectors, what we have shown you in the previous slide, or maybe for multiple. So one of the organization which calls themselves as process licensors or the technology provider. So who are they? So let's say I want to set up a refinery. So I will first look out who is having a technology to give me petroleum from a crude oil. So I will select a process licensor first or a technological provider. So these guys, they will have a process with them to convert a crude oil into petroleum or maybe gas or diesel, whatever it is, whatever my end product is. Okay. So this is a group of organization called technology provider process licensors. Now, what is another organization? Another organization, they call themselves as EPC in a short form, or it is also called engineering, procurement and construction. Now again, I am planning to set up a refinery. I am a owner. However, I have a know-how. I selected a know-how. I have a technology with me. I've selected someone, of course. Now I want someone to build entire refinery in a land, which has been given to them. So there will be a guy called EPC. I will hire them. I will hire this organization. I will tell them, please set up a refinery for me. Of course, it's a professional relationship. I will have to pay them and they will set up a refinery for me. So this is the work of the engineering, procurement and construction company. When I say engineering, procurement and construction, they will do everything for me, starting from design and engineering of static equipments, piping, then they will procure equipments for me and they will erect the refinery for me. So this is the work of engineering, procurement and construction, or what we say in a market, EPCs. Okay. I hope this is making sense to all of you. And of course, Abhishek has already mentioned, in case if you guys have any query, please write down your query in the parking lot. As of now, we would be having a question and answer sessions. We'll take that at that point of time. Moving on, there are some organizations will call themselves project management consultants, or in a short form, they're called PMCs. So guys, there is a very thin line between EPCs and PMCs. PMCs are the one who will also select a process licensor for me, and they will do exactly the same thing what the EPCs are doing. But the scope of PMC will be much more. They will select a land for me. They will select a process licensor for me. They will also do all the work that EPC does. Okay. So if you consider PMC, they have got a much bigger scope compared to EPC. Then in this entire supply chain, we have someone who only focuses on doing design and engineering. Just for your information, Abhishek also owns a design and engineering company. Okay. So they only focus on doing the static equipment design and engineering, and then they will pass on to the EPCs or the manufacturers. Then in this entire supply chain, we also have got someone who just behave like a consultant, or they have got an agency. For an example, let's say I am an EPC guy. Now I am not able to deliver on time. So what I will do is I will hire some management consultants. I will ask them that please come to my organization and see where we are lagging behind, because I want to I want to improve my OTD, I want to improve my quality, I want to improve my customer base. So I will hire a consultant, they will come, they will help me. So cultural consultants are nothing but they're a group of experts who would help me. Making sense, guys? Yeah. Let's move on. Last but not the least, in the supply chain are the manufacturers. So manufacturers are the one who will actually manufacture an equipment. Okay. So what does the manufacturers do? Let me just explain you in brief. So I am an owner. I want to set up a refinery. I have hired an EPC guy. EPC guy wants a lot of equipments in my refinery. So from where does he will procure an equipment? So he will go to a manufacturer, and manufacturer will make this equipment and it will be supplied to this refinery. Okay. Now let's try to understand this entire supply chain between this organization. Let's say I am a manufacturing company. I am a manufacturing organization. I might be working either for oil and gas sector, or I might be working for a fertilizer or a power plant, or maybe for nuclear or for defense. So you see in the previous slide, all the organizations which I have shown you, they could be working for oil and gas, they could be working for power plants, or they could be working for any sectors. So again, I'm repeating, an organization could work for one or multiple sectors. Okay. However, all the organizations want to optimize their operations. So they will focus on couple of sectors and not all. Okay. Yeah. Now, in today's workshop, mainly, we will be speaking about manufacturing. Okay. So now our entire discussion will be focused on manufacturing. And why we are choosing manufacturing? The reason I will tell you, because manufacturing are the entities which come in between the supply chain. So if I am speaking about manufacturing, I can get to know a lot of things about the owner, about the EPCs, and of course about the raw material suppliers. Okay. Now, I want a reply from you guys over here. I have shown you an organization. Okay. So this organization, of course, does something. So can you tell me why this organization, the group of people have come together? What is their cause? What they want to do? What they want to achieve? What is their goal? Can you guys please send me a message on a chat? What is their goal of any organization? Okay, I'm getting some replies. Guys, please participate. Please send your reply. I hope my question is clear to all of you. The question again, I will repeat. Any organization, we see a lot of organization. Okay, let's say not just this organization which I talked, but there are a lot of organization. What is their purpose? What is their goal? Yeah, I can see some replies. No. So Rohit has replied, Akash has replied, Tanishq has replied, Aman has replied, Ninad has replied, Sachin has replied, Keshav has replied, Dakshat has replied, Mohammad Arshad has replied, Shashank has replied. Very nice. I appreciate. Okay, Sangamesh has replied. Appreciate. We have almost around 30 participants, but I can only see some reply of 10 to 15 guys. The rest of the guys, can you please reply? It's a request, please. I will wait for another 15-20 seconds. Okay. So just reply. I mean, you don't have to really worry about whether you are right or wrong. I mean, this workshop is all about participative learning. So in case if I see some reply which is like really unique or something out of the box, very nice. A lot of people have replied. Appreciate. Chalo. Now I will take this forward. You see, I have seen a lot of replies which have come in the chat. You see, the sole purpose, the primary purpose of any organization, any group of people who come together is to make money. Guys, please note this thing. It is to make money. Because in the era what we are living, money is everything. If some of you, if you don't agree with me, then you need to rectify yourself, because our experience says that right now money is everything. If you have money in your pocket, you can do hundreds of things. But if you don't have money, you can't do anything. So whatever reply I'm seeing, okay, most of them, you will see it comes around making money is the most important thing. In organization, when we say money, it's mainly we talk about profit. And in financial language, we call it bottom line. Okay. So whatever sales I do, so how do I do a sales? Let me explain you this. Okay. Now then organization who comes together, they have to either sell a service or they have to sell a product, or they can sell both. So if I am providing a service, if I'm giving you a product, or if I'm giving you both, then in return, you have to give me money. So there is no bartering system. You know, the bartering system is age old. Okay. It has already gone. It's an history. Now we are in an era where if you are looking for a service or for a product, it has to be transacted through currency or money. So first, if I sell a product or a service, I get something called revenue. In financial term, the revenue is also called sales, and that is called top line. From this sales, I will subtract my cost, and what is left is my profit. So this entire game, the organization come together, it is all about profit. So if an industry or an organization is making profit, if it is making money, it can do anything and everything. It can satisfy their customer. It can have a good training program for its employees. It can do a social cause. Now you see the social cause is also related with this profit, because if a company is making profit, it will grow economically. And if it grows economically, it will have to hire a lot of resources. So you see that is again connected with social cause. Okay. So most of the replies, what I can see over here, you see everything is connected with a profit. If an organization is not able to make profit, it will soon get death. Slowly, steadily, it will go bankrupt. It will die. Okay. So for a company to survive in this scenario, profit is very important. Now, coming to my slide, your attention on a slide, please. In a typical manufacturing industry, the product is being manufactured, and that product could be an equipment like what I've shown in a slide, cell and tube heat exchanger. Okay. Now a manufacturing company is producing this equipment called cell and tube heat exchanger. Okay. Now let me, before going to the next slide, let me connect you this entire thing. So there is an owner who wants to set up a refinery plant. This owner, when he sets up a refinery plant, he belongs to an oil and gas sector. So what does his owner does? He will hire a EPC guy. This EPC guy will hire maybe a design and engineering for carrying out the design and engineering work. This EPC guy will procure the equipments from a manufacturing guy. So this is a supply chain. I have an owner, I have an EPC guy, I have a design and engineering, I have a manufacturing guy. Now this manufacturing guy, now let's see what does this manufacturing guy does. So to know what this manufacturing guy does, we'll go to next slide. We'll see a manufacturing at a glance. So first this manufacturing guy will order raw material. So he will have a raw material in form of plates, tubes, forgings, and the fasteners, or we call hardwares. In his house, in his workshop, he'll perform some operations like machining. So whatever plates and the tubes have been come, it cannot be used as is. Some machining has to be performed. Then from the plates he will roll, he will form shells. Then the heart of a manufacturing company is the welding process, or the fabrication is carried out. The final assembly, and bang, the product is ready for the dispatch. You see this cell and tube heat exchanger, contains plates, tubes, forging, and hardware. Operation is being performed in the house, its own house, manufacturing. However, these plates, tubes are procured from the raw material guy. So now one more entity is added in the supply chain, that is a raw material supplier. So that means in this entire supply chain, we have some 4-5 organizations who are working. A mechanical engineer would fit anywhere in this entire supply chain. Now, the product life cycle. So guys, again, from this slide onwards, Abhishek will take you through. Thanks a lot for listening. I will come back again.
Hi guys, I'm back. It was really nice. So Jendra explained you. See, we took a typical example of a manufacturer. Okay. Hope guys, my voice is clear. Anytime if you have any issue, please write in the chat box so that we'll come to know. Okay. So see, we took a typical example of a manufacturing company, mainly related to mechanical and production. So a typical heat manufacturing company, and we took a simple product, which is a heat exchanger. All of you might be knowing what is a heat exchanger. So if they have to produce a heat exchanger, you know, the certain raw material needs to be taken, some activity, some value addition will be done by that organization. So any organization has to do some value addition, and that is where the profit comes into picture. Okay. So value addition is required. You have to add value in whatever you are doing. If you are doing services, you have to add value. If you are manufacturing something, you have to add value. Okay, so we need to keep on adding value, and that is how organizations survive. So now we saw the different stages. Raw material is procured, some operation done on that raw material, like forming was done, machining was done, and then final assembly was done, and the product was made ready to supply. Okay. So what is a different product life cycle? If you say the stages of product or the operations which was performed by company, so these are the terms which are used in industry. So why we are using that same term? Because you will be completely aware when you go to industry, you won't feel like you have heard it first time. So each and every word which we are using is important, and whatever you can grasp, you can capture, that is the best. Okay. So use the same word, then you will talk like a professional. You will give the feeling to others that you have already worked. So pre-order stage. So like some project, we directly don't get projects. You know, the client will not give you a project. What happens? First of all, that's pre-order phase happens. You will get some inquiries. Okay. So inquiry stage, you have to do study of the document. You have to make proposal. You have to estimate the cost of that product. Then you will quote. Okay. And the product you will be getting will not be only based on the product. You have to be qualified to perform that work. You have to show some track record. Okay. So all that combines, if you're qualified, your cost is also low, you will get the customer order. Okay. So once you have received the customer order, you will perform the design and engineering activity that will come next. You guys can write it down, write down all the steps which we are going through. So pre-order, then customer order, then design and engineering activity will come, because you have to design, you have to calculate thickness, estimate prepare the drawings for that. Once your design phase is over, you will be able to estimate the bill of material and also the drawings for that project. Getting it? So now that product you can now visualize, you can see the drawings, you have the Bill of material. Why you need bill of material? Because you have to procure the raw material, isn't it? So to procure the raw material, you need a list of materials which are required. So bill of material and drawings, then raw material purchase. That bill of material you will give to purchaser. He will purchase the material for you. Then once the material is in the shop, the operation will be happening. Different stages, forming has to be done, machining has to be done. Those activity will be carried out. Okay. Finally, once the all activities are done, you have assembled the final product, you will dispatch. See, all these terms are very specific. When I say dispatch, it is dispatch, which is called in the industry also. Okay, it's not delivery or it's dispatch. So these are the actual words which are used. Bomb. So once anybody is in core sector says bomb, it's not a bomb, a nuclear bomb, or the explosive. It means bill of material. Okay, so you have to relate with different terms. Okay, that is very important. Finally, when all dispatch is done, it has to be all the documents which you have produced. All the documents are compiled together and dispatched with the job. So it can be go together or separately. You will give it to the client. So final client, who is the owner, is not owner of only the product, but all the documentation which you have generated. All this will form part of that delivery. Making sense, guys? If you have got it, just type yes in the chat box. Guys, just type yes if you have understood. If you want me to repeat this activity, I can do that again. If you have understood, chat yes. Great, great. I have hearing Shashank, Tanesh, Ninad. Great, good, Keshav. Hope it is making sense, right? So they are the different, like now different stages. So different people are involved in that different stages, right? So if you have understood this slide, we'll go to the next one. I see all yes only. There is no nothing to repeat. So I hope it's simple thing. Don't complicate. If you try to just visualize by yourself also, these are the steps you will come out with any product which you have to create. Okay. So this is not rocket science. Engineers do what is actually we think, and it is what relatable to everything. It's not a virtual or imaginary thing. Everything you can feel, touch, see, that is what we do. Okay. Now, all this happening, finally, who is at work? Who is doing all this activity? Any guess? Who is at work? Who is doing all these activities? Yes, engineers. We are at the back wheel. We are performing all these activities which we saw. So you can be in any department which we saw. You can be at pre-order stage, you can be at order stage, you can be in design, you can be in operations, right? Making sense, guys? Now we'll have one activity, and which I'll tell you which page 3. Just go to the page 3, and I'll just can you see that workbook in your screen? Just so I hope you can see workbook. Yes. So just go in this third page. Okay. So there are two columns, two different subjects, my answer and the answer. So you have to fill in my answer. And what you have to do is that you have to write the different departments. You saw the different operations getting performed, right? So now what you see, what are the different departments which can be there for all these different stages? You saw the different stages, guys. Are you getting what workshop we are going, what activity we are going to do? So these are the different activities which are there, which need to be performed by any organization. Now in these activities, which department, like see, all companies will have certain departments. Okay. So based on whatever you know, don't worry about right or wrong. Based on whatever you know, just write down what are the different departments, like design and engineering. That can be one department. What are others? What are others department? Just write in the workbook and tell me done if you are finished. Each and every stage, just try to relate with the department, like pre-order. Which department will be involved? There can be multiple departments involved in pre-order. Customer order, who will be involved? Design, who will be involved? BOM and drawing, who will be involved? Purchase, operation, dispatch. Just write done in the chat box when you complete. Okay, I'll give you time. Don't worry. You have 2 minutes. So just think and try to answer. Wait. So just guess the name of the department. Like an example, I told you design and engineering. That can be one department. What are others? Don't hesitate. Write whatever you can think of. Then we'll be seeing the actual answers also. So you will be able to relate more. You will be able to remember. Once you write it down, you will remember. Okay. So just think and write, and then instead of directly getting the answer, it is the best to think first and then get the answer. So you have 2 minutes. I have seen 2 done already. Rohit is very quick. His completing activity is very fast. Good, Rohit. Good work. Ninad has also completed. Good work, Ninad. Who is next? Who is next? Only 2 completed. Only 2 completed. Who is next? So I have a response from Akash, Tanishk, Keshav, Aman. Okay. Yeah. Now it's coming, right? Rohit, I was actually muted. Okay. So done. Lots of people have already completed. Great, guys. Once you complete, you will feel really good, and your learning also will be much more. Okay. If you just try to do the activity, we have put lots of thought process to design this course for you. So just right, take at least that much paint. Okay. And it will going to give you return in multiples, that we can definitely guarantee. So most of you, I think, already done. So see, Rohit is very quick. I'll just like to hear from Rohit. Rohit, what are the different departments? Can you unmute and share?
Yes, sir. So design department, management department, dispatching department, machining department, procurement department, communication department, and ordering department.
Great, Rohit. Very good. Very good. You've got most of them right. Really good. Anybody else like to share? You can just raise hand if you want to. If you want to share whatever you have written. See, don't worry about right or wrong, guys. You will learn once you do the activities, once you share, once you participate, your learning is going to be multiple times. Okay. And this is not a forced program. This is not in curriculum. This is just for fun. Okay. So we will learn while doing fun. Okay. Great. So now let us see what are the departments. Are you ready? Say ready if you want to see. Type ready in the chat box. Type ready. Great. Now you must be excited. See, this is what happens when once you do the activity and then you see the result, you will excited and your capturing capacity will be much more. Okay. Great. So let us see now. Who got it right? Pre-order is where marketing is involved, and also engineering and procurement. So engineering, see, once you are getting pre-order, you have to do estimation. So that estimation is normally done by design department. So it's not like if you are in design, you will not be involved in the pre-order. See, if company is very big, they may have even a different department for estimation. That is called estimation and proposal. Okay. So if company is very big, you may have completely different department itself. That will be called estimation and proposal. If the company is not big, normally it is forwarded to design department. They will see what design they have to perform, because you have to calculate the thicknesses, you have to prepare a BOM against which a cost can be taken from the vendor. Like you have to procure raw material, how much raw material needs to be procured. Then only you'll get the estimate, right? So you have to prepare a bill of material that can be done by the design department. Company is big, they can have a separate department which will include lots of design department people, estimation people who can, purchasers who can directly immediately get the quote from vendors. Everything is required, right? So pre-order stage, marketing is involved because they are the face of the company to the client. Client will be discussing only with him, marketing. Not everybody talks to the client. Marketing will be involved. They will pass on the communication from client to different department if it is required. If a quality estimation and proposal department is there, you can directly, they will communicate with them, take the estimate. Based on how much tough competition is, they will set the margin, because margin is always variable. It will all depend upon how many are quoting for that job, whether you have some additional thing with which you will be able to get that order. You have some edge over others. Then even if your cost is higher, you are you will be able to get that job. So that is also possible. It's not only the cost which governs the order. Getting this, guys? Getting it? Say yes if you got it. Whatever I have shared, only one department till now. Pre-order, marketing, estimation, proposal, sometimes design also. So next is customer order. Marketing will be communicating with the client. Once the order is confirmed, they will receive mail from client, and in that, what will be given to them? PO, purchase order. Sometimes, see, these terms are also important. PO, you might be knowing, purchase order. Sometime when LOI is given. What is LOI? Anybody can tell? What is LOI? PO, I know you must be knowing, purchase order. What is LOI? LOI. Not letter of investment, because they are not investing. You are very close. Letter of recommend, not letter of, that will be LOR. And why? Yes, Keshav is on the spot. Intent, letter of intent, that they have the intent to give you the order. So PO will be made, but that will be at later stage. Right now, just keep this letter of intent, because PO will also may have some activities involved they have to run. So it may take some time. So before PO, they will say that, okay, take this letter of intent and start working, because I want it to be delivered very fast. I don't want to waste even a single day. So they will give you letter of intent. Okay, great, guys. You guys are really good. Really happy to see that. Design and engineering, that you already might have, I think everybody might have guessed it. So the design and engineering department will be involved in that. Then form and drawing, design engineering plus planning. Have you heard of this department, guys? Planning or project management group. Have you heard of it? Just type yes if you've heard of. project. I want to spend some time so that you will be familiar with that word. So Rohit is saying no. Yes. So see, these are the terms which are used for, see, PMG. We are going to talk about that department in the next, and it's very, very, very important. Okay, they are called the owner of the project. Okay, they will be interacting with all other department and make the project happen at the right time. Okay, so either you call it planning or project management group. They are the owner of the project. Like client is the end, who is will be finally getting the order, but within the organization, project management group is the owner. They will be monitoring all the duration. They will be planning when what will happen, how much duration is required for which activity, make the schedule and make thing happen at right time. Clear? So they will be also involved, because whatever material is given, how much, what type of material you will procure, how that will be fitted into the final BOQ, all this will be done by planning. Next is raw material purchase. So raw material purchase will happen by purchase department, also PMG. Okay, PMG will estimate, they will coordinate with purchaser, and finally they will come out. If any decision is required, PMG is the owner. They will give the decision which one to go, which one not to go. Okay. Operations. Operations means forming, welding, all these things. So design and engineering will be involved. Any problem coming, any detail missing, everybody will rush to the design department. So design has to be involved. PMG has to be involved because they are the owner. They have to monitor all the operations, duration of that operation. If some operation cannot be done by that organization, like if you don't have capability of post weld heat treatment, you might not be even aware of post weld heat treatment. Few of you who have already done some training with me, they might be aware what is post weld heat treatment. That is also a typical word used in industry. So like it's kind of heating that build component to relieve the stresses. Okay, that's what for right now it is required. So it has to be, the job has to go in a furnace where it will be heated, cooled at that temperature, and then cool down. So if that operation is required and you don't have in-house facility, then PMJ is the person who will coordinate which vendor will have that capability. They will arrange all the loading, unloading. See, that's going job to a particular location is a big activity in itself. You have to monitor lots of things. If the equipment is very big, even you have to schedule the timing so that it leave at night. You have to coordinate with the authorities, take required approvals. If overbridges are there, it has to be removed. Lots of things are involved if the job movement is there. Okay, so planning is the group which will coordinate all these activities. Shops, fabrication shops, we call. Shops means not medicine shops or any other grocery shops. We call it as a short term shops, but it is fabrication shop. That is what the term used, fabrication shop. So fabrication shop is where all these activity, welding, forming, everything, painting will be done. Okay, so that is one group, fabrication shop. It will have supervisor, it will have welders, fabricators, lots of group. And also will be a quality control person who will be controlling the quality, who will be doing lots of inspection during stages. If you have done welding, whether that welding is proper or not, what type of non-destructive examinations are required on that. Making sense? So QC will be controlling the quality. See, only delivering the project is not important. You have to deliver the quality. Quality is topmost requirement, guys. Okay, so quality has to be adhered, and quality department does not see, there is a different philosophy of all that, because if an organization is very small, and quality is also driven by the project delivery, then we try to compromise on quality, because if it's stuck, if it's holding the job because of some problem, it may finally result into delay and customer will be unhappy. So many times they will be forced, but in good organization, the vertical is completely separate. So the PMG who is monitoring the job and responsible for delivery will not have control on quality. He cannot force to not perform certain activities or to avoid some gaps. He cannot pressurize. So quality is independent. They will be responsible for any quality problems. Okay. So that is how it goes. Then dispatch, project management will try to organize all the loading, unloading of the job. Marketing will be in touch with client, where to be delivered, what time it will be delivered, everything. Final documentation, all the different departments will be producing some documents. All that will be compiled together. It is called manufacturing record book. You can write this word, manufacturing record book. All the activities, all the documentation which you have performed. See, first of all the activities you are performing, it has to be recorded. It is not a verbal communication. If shop is asking that what is the thickness, if it is not mentioned in the drawing, I cannot say that take 10 mm. I'll have to include that in my design. It should be there in the drawing. It has to be documented. So each and every operation is documented, and finally all that bundle is made based a book kind of thing, where you can just see which pages, which are the documents, and that is called manufacturing record book. Okay, great. Got it, guys? Got it till now? Say yes if you have got it, and if you are enjoying, just write enjoying. Okay, guys, say got it if you have got it, and if you are enjoying, say enjoying. I hope you are able to relate with whatever we are discussing. Yeah, great. Great. So QA, QC, and you see, we have not mentioned welding department separately. So there will be a welding department which will be involved throughout. They have to ensure how to do the weld. They will be making procedure for welding, and welding is very important when it comes to fabrication industry. So mainly metallurgists go to welding, but the mechanical engineers are free. They can go anywhere. So welding is actually related to materials. So metallurgist is what is preferred in welding department. Great, guys. Now, see, there is one more. Yeah, great. Good question. QA. What is QA? So the full form of QA is quality assurance. We saw quality control, but what is quality assurance? See, it's kind of, any organization which has to perform certain activity, they have to control and make a book which is called a quality assurance plan. See, that book will give you the different controls which you are including in the different processes, how you will be able to maintain that quality, how you will control the quality. Just saying by control the quality is not it's not having any meaning. So you have to make a quality assurance plan. So there will be a QA department which will be mainly involved in making these manuals. They will be involved in auditing different departments, that whether they are following that right quality assurance plan or not. They are doing their activity based on whatever has been already made, how they should do it. Getting it, guys? Say yes if you've got it. So quality assurance is a department which will be making procedures to do all these activities so that quality can be improved. Quality should not be compromised. Got it? Great, guys. Great. So quality assurance and quality control are different. Quality control people will actually be doing those activity, inspection, doing non-destructive examinations. Quality assurance is kind of pre-activity. Beforehand, you have made a task list, this do, this do, this do, and then your final quality will happen. So that is the topmost requirement. So even in pre-order stage, you may have to submit your quality assurance plan. Client demands that. So they will see the document, how you are maintaining that quality, and then only they will give the order. So it's a very important role, guys. Getting it? Say yes if you got that. Say yes if you have got that. Great, great, great. Rohit, Dakshat, Shashank, Akash, really good. Happy to see that you're able to understand and try to remember the different words also. I hope you are making note of it. Okay, so these are where the departments in manufacturing. So now I'm just trying to list it down, the different departments which we discussed: estimation and proposal, marketing, design and execution. We saw all that. I'm just trying to, give you again time to memorize all these different departments. Project and planning, you can call it as a project management group or planning group. Purchase, who will be involved in procuring all the materials for you. Fabrication shops, where the actual operation will happen. Quality, which will have quality assurance and quality control. Okay. Welding, which will perform all the welding. Then there is accounts. Accounts is also involved, right? How much you're procuring, how much salary to be paid, what are the finances of your company, how much cost you are getting in the different activities. HR, for recruiting the different people in these different departments, right? These people also require safety. It's very important, very important. No. So if you have a manufacturing shop, you have to be always do all the work by keeping safety in mind. So there are safety people who will make the guidelines for different activities so that it is safe. Legal department. Okay. Every company requires some legal clearances. For that, legal department is also required. So now if you divide these different departments, so these are actually core sectors, core department, which you can call. These are actually contributing to the actual product which you are making. And these are called auxiliary departments. These are supporting all these departments so that they are able to, involve in the operation. They are able to produce. So they will be assisting. So that is the reason these are auxiliary departments, and this is core department. Okay. Now we have Jen, we have a workshop for them. Yeah. So yeah. Now it's a very, very important that I can say is the best or the most important part of this workshop. Now we'll try to give you a walkthrough. See, this workshop is not just a webinar. I said it multiple times. Why? Because we want directly give the takeaways. You will return with lots of takeaways and you will be involved in doing that activities. It's not just listening. You have to participate. Okay. So now we'll walk through with the different functional roles which are there in the company. Now you saw marketing, design, but what are the different functional roles and what are the skills required to perform these different roles, right? Every role needs certain skill, right? Which are maybe different, maybe even combined, but definitely certain set of skills are required to perform that. Okay. So see, after this activity, we'll be doing that skilling mapping of your skills, so that you can decide which role. So this is very important, guys. Be on spot, try to see what we are trying to explain, and then we will see. Okay. Now just hold on for a moment. Whatever we have discussed till now, just think for a moment. Now you know what are the different departments, right? Different roles which they will be performing. So there are design department, marketing department, purchasers. What different skills in your opinion that will be required for performing this activity? Now if you go to page 4 of that workbook. I'll just project that. See, now you can see on the screen, I have projected that activity on skill. So this is page number 4, which has different skills and knowledges listed down. Okay, you don't have to be worried about finding different skills. Already different skills are listed, whatever we feel that is important. Now you have to tick mark, and see, this is the activity which uh, is actually evaluating yourself for that role. Not right now, we are not focusing on any role. So these are the skill which require for performing all the different roles. So nobody is expected to have all these skills. Okay, right now you have to just estimate what skill you possess right now. We are not talking about future. Right now, what skills do you have? Just you have to tick down, like, can you make engineering drawing? Tick mark. Okay, do you know material grades? Tick now. But now you will ask that, why, how I'll be able to decide that engineering drawing, whether I have the skill, or I may have been participated in some drafting program. I have done that, but I'm not sure whether that skill is there or not. There also we have prepared how you will be able to rate. Right, Jen, you want to mention something? So by referring this, you will be able to.
First, let them tick mark.
Yeah.
First, let them tick mark.
Okay. Okay. So first, only tick mark the certain skills, just based on there, and then skill rating will be.
Skill rating at the end.
Skill rating at that. Okay. Just tick mark if you feel, based on your gut feeling, if you feel that this skill is you have an engineering drawing skill, you can study, you can prepare. Just tick mark. Okay. Material grades, different material grades like carbon steel, stainless steel. If you know these things, you just tick mark. Problem solving, just tick mark. We will be helping you to understand all this in better manner, and then you'll be giving rating also for all these skills. What you're tick marking, you will rate also, and yourself will rate. We will guide you how to rate, but yourself will rate on that skill. Okay, so first of all, just tick mark. You have 5 minutes. Just tick mark in the booklet on whichever activity or skill, knowledge you think you possess right now. Okay, you have 5 minutes. Once you are done, just write done in chat box. Don't be in hurry. It's all for you, just to evaluate yourself for certain roles. So right now, don't focus on anything. Just see, like, if you know MS Word, you have prepared some projects which you have submitted in Word, and you can definitely tick mark that. PowerPoint, if you have used for presentation in college, you can tick mark that. So you have 5 minutes. Just try to go through that. Guys, if you have any issue with any thing, like if any skill or knowledge you're not able to understand, you want to get it clarified, feel free to get it clarified. You can either write in chat box, or you can just unmute and tell. That is also okay. Okay, Tanish has already completed. Great work, Tanish. Great. ERP software. So two of you are having the same query. See, the ERP software is used for maintaining all the bill of material, purchase activity, all the certain activity which are performed. I think maybe Chand will be able to explain it in a better way. Chand?
So first of all, the full form of ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning. See, the days have gone, where, we used to maintain manual entries for everything. Now, we have got ERP softwares who will exactly tell you that how much material I have in my inventory, how much material has been consumed on what project, okay, how much cost has been allocated. So everything in an organization happens in an ERP software. Just for your information, ERP software is SAP. The SAP is one of the ERP software which an organization is using. Then there is another software called BAN. Okay, so these are the softwares. I am quite sure at this point of time, that means when you're passing out your engineering, in case, if you've not done any internship, you will not possess this skill or knowledge about ERP software. It's okay. You don't put a tick mark. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I hope I have answered.
It's like Excel. No, it's not like Excel. Excel
Nah.
can be also used, but lots of programming will go into that.
So there is a special software which comes, which I call ERP softwares. MS Excel is different.
GDNT. GDNT is geometrical dimension and tolerancing. So we use that in drawings. When we prepare drawing, we use plus minus one, like any dimension. We cannot achieve that in on a like 10 mm. I cannot achieve 10 mm. So I need to have some tolerance. That is called geometrical dimension and tolerancing. Okay, hope you got that. Corporate etiquette. Jan, do you like to share?
So you see, guys, the reason we picked up manufacturing is manufacturing comes, exactly at the middle of the supply chain. It's a heart in the supply chain. So many a times, a guy in a marketing or engineer in a marketing has to interact with the customers. So there are certain corporate etiquettes which need to be followed in your communication, the way you write an email, the way you interact with your seniors. So all those communication, verbal, non-verbal, will be a part of corporate etiquette.
Even for dining, there are etiquettes.
So when you go out for dining with a customer, there has to be certain etiquettes which are to be followed. Okay? Because you remember one thing, let's say you are representing your organization, your brand. It's not you who are, going out with the customer. It's your brand which is going out with the customer. So think, with that point of view.
I hope we clarified that. Code reading. Code is like if you might have heard of every like heat exchanger. So heat exchanger design is from code. We follow a code to design that, like ASME. If you might have heard of ASME, American Society of Mechanical Engineers. So that is a code which we follow for design for pressure vessels. So there are certain codes which are followed at different industries. So if you have got a chance to read a code, have you worked any time? If you have done that, you can say yes. If you have not read any code, I know that it is not taught in colleges. So if you might have done internship, you have communicated with certain, you might have attended some training on code, then you can say yes. Yeah, corporate etiquette like behavior. Yes, you are right, Rohin. It's like behavior, how your body language should be, how you should talk. It can be verbal, even a non-verbal, how you eat, everything comes into that. Great, all are done. Done. Just write done. If you have completed, once again, if you just write, I'll be able to see how many of you have already done it. So I think most of you have already completed. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Let's resume with our session. Now, by now, you guys have performed this activity, which is given on the booklet page number 4 and 5. I am sure you all have completed this activity. The screen you can see on the screen. So as of now, guys, it was expected that you just fill up this column, the tick mark column. Okay, the last column, skill rating, the very important activity that will be done at the end of the session. Okay, that's the heart You see, skill rating is the heart of this entire workshop. So that we'll be performing at the end. I hope this activity has been already completed by all you guys. So we had listed down some 22 skills. You were supposed to tick mark wherever you feel you possess this knowledge or this skill after completing your engineering. Has to be done in this column. Okay. Now let's start with our presentation. Just type yes if you guys are able to see the presentation now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Now we would be going through few departments. See, we have selected some 3 departments, which are the backbone of a manufacturing company. So we have selected those 3 departments. For each and every department, we would be taking a virtual tour of an engineer, how he performs his role, his duty, and what are the skill sets are required to perform those role and skill set. Now, what I have done is that in an organization, I have considered it like a human body. So you all know in a human body, what is the function of a mouth? The function of a mouth is to eat food. Same way in an organization, marketing is a department from where the order flows into the organization. Okay. So that's the reason, we have connected the organization with a human body. So marketing is the mouth of an organization. Let's move on and see what does a marketing department of a manufacturing company looks like. Guys, have you heard of this term called B2B? If someone has heard about this term called B2B, please type yes in a chat box. If no, then please type no. Yeah, very nice. Yes, very nice. So guys, you already know what is a B2B type of a business model. So if I have to just tell you what is the other type, it's B2C, business to consumer. Now in business to business model, I know my customer exactly, who is my customer. In the other model B2C, I may not know who is my consumer. For an example, any FMCG product, like a toothpaste manufacturer, he will not know who is going to use my toothpaste. But in a manufacturing organization, I know to whom I'm supplying my equipment. So this is the basic difference between B2C and B2B. So what are the qualities, or what are things which are required in an engineer who is working in a marketing department? He needs to be professional rather than being a flamboyant. You see, marketing department is not all about wearing suits, ties, and speaking very fancy words. It is all about being professional and honest. So whenever you are interacting with a customer, remember one thing: your customer is always 2 levels above you. So whenever you speak something, don't try to bluff. Be very honest. If you know something, answer him. If you don't know, just say yes and tell him I will get back to you. There is nothing wrong in saying that. Okay. So this is how you can build your customers' trust, by being professional rather than being flamboyant. A marketing guy should have a zeal to meet people, because you see, whether we consider B2B or we say B2C, marketing, when it comes to marketing, you need to have a zeal to meet people. You need to have a good interpersonal skills. You should like to communicate with people. Okay. A marketing guy always, we feel marketing means he only speaks. No, a marketing guy needs to be a patient, and he has to be good listener, because when you listen to your customers carry a query properly, then you will be in a position to answer them better. But if you only keep on speaking things, it will be difficult for you to understand his problem. So marketing is a guy who will understand customers issue, customers problem, and he will be the person who needs to address it. Okay. Now, in an organization, you are not just one person who will be working. Even if you're working in any department, whether it's a marketing, whether it's a design and engineering, or it's an project management or quality control, you would be working in a hierarchy. So now let's see how does a typical marketing department hierarchy looks like. So at the first, we will have someone who is a head of the department in marketing. Under this head of a department, there will be some senior managers who will be working under him. The bifurcation could be region wise. So, I've just taken it a very simple example. So every marketing department will have its own way of, segregating its managers or its leadership. Over here, I have segregated region wise. Like for an example, if I'm talking about a manufacturer who is in India, they will have one marketing guy who will head the entire domestic functions, which caters to the entire India requirement, and one guy who would be catering to outside of India, which they can name as international. The other way of having a hierarchy is to do product wise. So I will have a marketing guy who is only looking for heat exchangers. The other guy could be looking out for pressure vessels. Okay, I hope this is making sense to you all. Then under a senior manager, whether it's a domestic or international, we would have a manager, a senior engineer, and if a guy is really lucky, then immediately after passing out, he might be recruited in marketing engineering or a marketing department. But guys, this is very rare that immediately after completing your engineering, if you get a marketing department, consider yourself lucky. But at the same time, as people say, power comes with great responsibility. So if you have been given a power, it comes with a great responsibility. So remember, we would consider senior engineers or managers in a marketing role. Okay, so those guys, who have already spent some years, probably in design and engineering, on workshops, so they will get a chance to come in a marketing department. Now, we are going to take a virtual tour. So we have taken an example. We have taken an engineer. Her name is Geeta. She has spent 2 years in marketing role, and right now she is a senior engineer. Okay, now let's see what a typical day in a Geeta's role looks like. So it's a day 26th December 2019 where Geeta has just entered in the office, and let's see now how does the Geeta perform her role. So the very first thing you see, the very first thing the Geeta will do when he is on her desk, she will prepare a to-do list. Do you guys know what is a to-do list? Please type yes if you know. If you don't know, it's okay. You can say no. Very nice. Someone has said yes. Yes. Yeah. Great. Great. Very nice. Appreciate this. So the day of Geeta kickstarts with a to-do list. She prepares a to-do list. Immediately after that, she checks her emails and correspondence. Okay. So in case if she has to add some activity in her to-do list, she can do it from the emails and the correspondence. After doing that, she will immediately go to her superior and interact with him or her. That what are the actions she needs to take for the day? Are there any burning issues, or we need to work on some strategic issues? So for that, these three activities are very important. You see, guys, when you talk about passing out or engineering, it is not just technical knowledge. It is also some of the knowledge which you require are this knowledge. Okay, that how to do a day's planning. Now we are going to look at Geeta's to-do list. So you see, after she enters into her desk or in her cabin, the first 30 minutes are very crucial. That will decide that her day is going to be efficient or her day is going to be dull. Now let's look at a to-do list. So the first activity, she has received a customer's RFQ. I will explain you each and every time what is customer's RFQ and everything. Okay, just hold on for a moment. She has to work on an exhibition sponsorship because marketing also needs to promote the brand. Okay, so they get a lot of invitation. You come, put a booth in our exhibition. So she has to work on that. She has to prepare a business review PowerPoint. she has to look, that how many jobs are under dispatch. So that review needs to be done. Then there are many things, which she needs to bid. So she has to meet the estimation guy and she has to see that how many bids are under process. Now, you see, in a day, Geeta will not be able to do everything. So now what Geeta is going to do, Geeta is prioritize her activities. She says that my priority is to first complete the customer RFQ. My second priority is to complete the business review PowerPoint. And if the time permits, then I will review the dispatch status. I will meet the estimation guy, and then I will decide for the exhibition sponsorship. Guys, do you know what is the meaning of priority? If you know, you please say yes and try to elaborate. If you don't know, then it's okay, don't reply. If you know what is priority or how to prioritize your to-do list, you please say yes and try to explain briefly. And if you don't know, then it's okay, don't reply anything. Yeah, very nice, Akash. Thanks for your reply. RFQ stands for request for quotation. Okay. So as we had seen in a pre-bid stage, a lot of owners or EPC companies will float a tender or an RFQ. So they are actually asking a manufacturing company that you quote to manufacture this equipment. So it's a pre-bid stage, RFQ, request for quotation. Yeah, preference first. Okay. Okay. Guys, you see, this is applicable to all of us. It's applicable in our life as well. We have a limited resource, we have a limited energy. Okay. So for an example, if you consider my example, I have got only two hands, I have got only one brain, and I have got only two legs. So I need to do everything with this limited resource, what God has given me. Similarly, each and every human being has its own limitations. Our resources are limited. So you see, Geeta cannot do all the activities at the same time. She cannot work on all these 5 things at the same time. So that's the reason she will prioritize. Now, priority, how to give a priority? Now, it's a very big question. Okay, that we are not going to decide over here, that we are not going to discuss over here. Okay. Yeah, very nice. Tanishq has already replied. I really appreciate his reply, time and resource. No, that is what I also meant. So how the priorities been decided by Geeta, that we are not going to discuss over here, because it takes experience. But however, I can tell you one very simple thing. What is the role of a marketing department? The role of a marketing department is to bring orders. And to bring order, we need to work on RFQ. So that's the reason Geeta will first work on RFQ. Okay. Yeah. Now we would be looking how does Geeta work on customers RFQ. And I will also explain you what is a business review PowerPoint and how Geeta will prepare for it. Okay. So these are the two things, that Geeta is going to perform today. And I will explain you both this activity in detail. Now let's understand first what is customers RFQ. So RFQ stands for, I already mentioned, it's a request for quotation. So for any manufacturing organization, RFQs are very, 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 very important, because if you don't work on RFQ, your chances of getting an order will come drastically down. Okay, so the priority to work on RFQ is topmost. Now, let me explain you. Okay, I will explain you once again. So there is a customer, maybe it's a refinery owner or an EPC guy. He will float a request for quotation to procure heat exchangers. So he will invite bids from the eligible manufacturers. So Geeta belongs to that organization who are one of the eligible manufacturers for this refinery or for this EPC. Okay, I hope this is making sense to you all. This stage, if you would have seen the product life cycle, this is a pre-order stage and very important for any organization. Now, how does a customer, or how will Geeta receive a RFQ from a customer? So you see, this customer now will have their own web portals, on which they will upload the request for quotation for the equipments, for the projects, for the equipments and everything. Or maybe Geeta will receive this RFQ directly on her mail ID. So these are the two ways the customer will send the RFQ to Geeta. Geeta will download this RFQ, each and every documents from the portal or from the email. She will verify the documents where each and every document in the RFQ has been received or not. The very important thing which she will note down is when this bid is to be submitted. Guys, this is very important. You see, in an industry, we are all bothered, we are all driven by time. We need to have targets. Whatever work we are doing, we need to have a target. Like you guys have a target to complete your studies before the exam. Similarly, in an organization also, there are targets given to each and every department, each and every individual. So Geeta needs to submit the bid before the bid submission date. After that, customers will not allow any submission, and your chances of getting the order will diminish, or you will not have any chance of getting the order. Very important. And this step, looks very simple. We just have to write a mail to a customer. No, but this shows your professionalism. The moment you download the bid, the RFP documents from the portal or from the email, you need to immediately send an email to a customer acknowledging that yes, you have received all the documents. And you should also tell your willingness, whether you are willing to bid or not. This will ensure, this will, create a mindset in a customer that yes, this manufacturing organization is very professional. Okay. In the same acknowledgement, you can also communicate to the customer in case there is any documents which are missing out. Okay, so this is a way that you are establishing a communication with the customer, and that is very important. Very important step. The last thing that Geeta will do within the organization is she will immediately send these RFP documents to the estimation and proposal team to study them, and to the legal team to study any legal matters or any legal clause, any commercial clause which are there in the RFP document. Very important. Geeta will give a target to the estimation team and a target to the legal team by when she wants the input to be received. You see, if my submission date of the bid is, let's say, 31st July, so I will not ask the estimation team and the legal team to give their inputs on 31st July, because 31st July, I have to submit the bid. So I will tell the estimation team and the legal team that you submit your inputs by 21st July, so that Geeta will get a time, maybe 3-4 days to work on this bid and submit the bid to the customer on time or before time. If you are submitting before time, very nice, but you need to at least submit on time. Is making sense? If it is making sense, please type yes. If you have a doubt or a query, you can please type your query, so I can quickly take some queries immediately. Nice, very nice. Okay, great. Thanks a lot for your feedback. So, in case if you have a query or something, please write down in a parking lot, because after I complete a marketing department, anyways, we will have a question and answer sessions where we'll be taking your queries. Okay, so if you in case have any queries, please write down over there. Okay, yeah, I will move on. So that was all about how Geeta will work for a customer RFQ. Business review presentation. So the short form of a presentation, we write PPT. Okay. Now let's see what is a business review presentation. Very important presentation. We'll first understand what is the importance of the business review PPT. Very important, guys. This presentation is made to the top management. You see, in a hierarchy, Geeta was a senior engineer. She was reporting to some manager, senior manager. That manager was reporting to the head of the department. This presentation is even made to someone who is above the head of the department. So you see, Geeta is going to interact, to someone who is at level 1 or level 2 in your organization. Okay? So here again, the etiquettes will come into picture. This presentation includes a business scenario. Business scenario means if I am a manufacturing company, how many orders or how many projects are going around in India and outside India, so that I can get a job or I can get an order from them. So that's called a business scenario. Which are the projects right now which we are bidding? Very important. A status. What are the projects which are under execution, which we are already executing right now? Because you see, guys, marketing department also needs to focus on the cash flow. That department is not only meant for taking orders, but after the order has been received, when the manufacturing is happening in a several stages, there are some payments which are linked. Customer regularly pays to the manufacturers at certain stages. Marketing department is the one department which will keep a tab of all these cash flows. So projects under execution, very important. Marketing department keeps a tab on each and every projects which are being executed. See, guys, we started with this presentation, and we consider that what is the most important thing. Why does an organization, why a group of people come together and work in an organization for a common goal? We understood it's a profit, the bottom line. So marketing department is the one to show the top management that how are we performing financially. If you're executing, if the business scenario is so good, if you're bidding so much, if there are a lot of projects which are under execution, so how are we in terms of financial? That is what the responsibility of the marketing department comes. Very important. In all the above, if there is any area of concern, it is marketing department who needs to highlight to the top management. Now, guys, understand one thing. I told you that there is some maturity required to come into a marketing department. The reason being, a marketing department, when he shows an areas of concern, he also needs to show that yes, this is my pain area, and this is the antibiotic which I need to take, or this is the painkiller which I need to take. He needs to inform this to the top management. He can't just go to the top management and say that this is the problem. Yes, then can be cases where the marketing guy does not have a knowledge, or he does not have a solution. At that point of time, he can approach a top management with just a problem. But approaching a top management problem with solution will really help him. This will actually help the entire organization in moving faster, taking right decisions. Okay. Now let's see how does the Geeta prepare for this presentation. So here, the majority of the work Geeta needs to do is collect the data. So for whatever projects are under execution, the data she will collect from the project management group, that are you on schedule or are you delayed? Are you delivering the heat exchanger on time, or you are not going to deliver the heat exchanger on time? The date to deliver certain heat exchanger was 31st December, but are you delivering on 31st December, or you are going to get delayed? Okay, so this is the data which she will collect from the project management team. She will also collect the data from the accounts team or the finance and accounts team, that for the year, how much sales we have done, how much payments has been received, how are we in terms of cash flow. Now, guys, I might be using a lot of financial and accounts term which you might not be familiar. So it's okay. I mean, you just register, what all things I'm using, or what are terms I'm using. You can ask me, during the question and answer session. Okay, I will try my best to answer you those queries. Then Geeta needs to compile all this data. She also has to add a value from her side. Okay, that in which all projects she has already received the payments and everything. Finally, a presentation has been prepared. This presentation first Geeta needs to review it with her superior or with her immediate superior. When I say IS, the full form of IS is immediate superior. Okay, she will discuss and finally she will present it to the top management. Okay, so this is the way she will be preparing the business review PowerPoint and she will be presenting it to the top management. Okay, guys, I hope you understood this. Now, marketing department interacts with the customer. Marketing department interacts with estimation and proposal, interacts with PMG, finance and accounts, legal team, and also with the top management. So you see, this marketing department, even though it's one department in a manufacturing organization, but it has to interact with a lot of other departments. So you see, guys, it's all about teamwork. Okay. Now, very important. What are the functions that a marketing engineer has to perform? And what are the skills that are required? I've just listed down all the functions of a marketing department. Okay. The list is very exhaustive, but just mention some of the major and very important those roles and function I've mentioned over here. RFQ, request for quotation, bidding for it, business review presentations, business development, very important. If you want to do a business with a new customer or for a new product, business development activity are required. Dispatch, marketing is involved. Customer intimacy, again a very important thing. Customer intimacy, again I will say, it is not a one-time function or a one-time role. This has to be done in and out. I'll just give you one example of what is customer intimacy. You remembered we received an RFQ document and we had sent one acknowledgement. Yes, that's a part of customer intimacy. You are building a relationship with customer. You need to make your brand that you are a professional brand in the mind of customer. So this is how you build. So there will be some small things, but there will be also some major things which you need to do to build a relationship with customer. So customer intimacy is nothing but building a very healthy relationship with customer. You see, in a B2B business, getting a repeated orders from the same customer is very important for you. So that's the reason customer intimacy is a very important function or a role of a marketing engineer. Branding. Okay. So whether you are working in a marketing role or you are working in a design and engineering or you are in a workshop, you all are working for that particular organization. So branding of that organization has to be done, and that is of course, it's a responsibility for each and every engineer who are working in that organization, but the prime responsibility is with the marketing engineer. Now let's see what are the skills required. Okay, to perform a marketing role, the marketing engineer needs to know how to write an email writing. Guys, you see, this is not just some email writing or a WhatsApp chat. You are communicating with a top management, or probably you are communicating with a customer's top management. So your email writing skill should be very fine. Okay. So that's the reason one of the skill which is required is corporate email writing. Okay. You can't use, words like LMAOA or, something like that. You need to use proper words and phrases when you are writing in corporate email. Of course, Microsoft PowerPoint, that's a soft skill that you require. You need to know Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, because whatever correspondence or bidding which you will do, you need to use this softwares. Of course, marketing also needs to use an ERP software. Corporate etiquette that I already talked about. Communication, again, see, when I say corporate etiquettes, corporate email writing, it all comes under communication. But when I say communication in a skill, it is also communication within your team, how you are communicating. So that plays a very important role. Basic of finance. I'm sure after you complete your engineering, you guys are not expected to know a lot about finance, like taxes and everything. What is the sales, revenue and everything. But when you join a company, it is expected that you learn immediately. So guys, it's a question and answer session. We will give you 1 or 2 minutes so that you can list down, or you can just type all your question over here in a chat. Remember, right now we are only going to take the top 5 questions, because of the time constraint. We'll only take the top 5 questions. Now these questions can be anything and everything that we have covered till now. If you have written anything in your parking lot, it's a time you please ask the questions now. You can also unmute and you can speak. Okay guys, we are ready to take your questions. Type, unmute and speak. Please go ahead, shoot. We are waiting for your questions. Okay, I have already received 4 questions. I will start answering these 4 questions first. So the first question is from Rohit. I hope everyone are able to see his question. He has asked, what is the basic of finance we should know about before entering any company? So you see, when you pass out from an engineering, a lot of courses, even a mechanical and allied branches like production, they have some subjects which are related to finance, economics, finance, accounting. So even if you know those topics which are being covered in your syllabus, it's more than enough. Now let me explain you what are those some of the topics, few of the topics. The knowledge about what is the sales, okay, what are the operating cost, how is the profit calculated. These are very simple and basic. If you know about the sales structure, the tax structure. Now anyways, the tax has become very, very easy. The tax regime, after 2015, when the GST has come, so it's GST right now. But still you need to know your equipment, or, if you're going into manufacturing, what are the taxes, that the equipment might be having. So the manufacturer, you will, of course, when you will send a bill, when you will send an invoice, you need to put some tax. So you need to know what are the tax structure and how it is to be put. So even the basic would suffice at this stage. Even if you just mention that, yeah, the equipment which you are manufacturing comes under a tax slab of 18%, or let's say it's just 12%, the interviewer will get impressed that at least this guy is putting some effort. Once you enter in an organization, then for learning, sky is the limit. So as far as basic of finance is concerned, limited knowledge is also okay. Rohit, if I have answered your question, please say yes. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Akash has asked a question. I hope everyone is able to see. I will just repeat a question for all of you. If we get a role in any department other than marketing in a business, then is it possible to get to the marketing post in that company or business? You see, Akash, when I started talking about marketing department, you see, I will once again, I will mention, and I will be very honest with you all guys. Marketing, according to me, is not a function. It's an attitude of a person. So if you feel like, you have that zeal to connect with people, you have, that professionalism in you, then of course, the organization will identify you. And of course, we have already listed down what are the skills that are required to work on those skills. No one can stop you in an organization, going from one department to another department. Of course, different organizations might have their own policies, but as far as I know, if an top management or even your immediate superior feels like this guy is more suited in this particular role, yes, you can definitely go. In case if they don't have a policy, you fight for it. Okay, there is no limitation that if you get one department, you have to spend your entire life in that one particular department. You can go. Akash, if you have answered your question, please say yes. In case if you have an additional question, you can please ask. Thanks, Akash. Tanishq has asked a question, but I think that has come directly to us. So I will just speak what Tanishq has asked the question. How one should approach with his skill set in an industry as a fresher? Tanishq, this workshop is all about your question. So at the end of this workshop, we would be mapping your skill set. You see page number 4 and 5, there is another column, the last column, which says skill rating. So you would be giving a skill rating based on the instructions what we have given you. And not just you, but each and every participants will come to know where I'm standing right now. Just to summarize your question, this workshop is all about where are you right now or where will you be after completing your engineering, what the industry is and how to fill up this gap. Okay, Tanishq, so please hold on for a minute, hold on maybe for half an hour or for 1 hour, your query will get resolved. Not just your, but everyone's skill set will come into picture. Okay. Tanishq, is it okay? Yeah. Ninad has asked a question, for any job role, if I don't have every skill set recommended, but few of them, can we still apply for it? Ninad, as I mentioned, we all have a limited time and resource. Of course, the skill set which you will possess will also be limited. However, when there are two candidates which approach, one who is having minimum or nil skill set, and one guy, let's say Ninad, having some or more skill set, you only tell me organization will prefer whom? Yeah, Ninad? Of course, the organization will prefer with someone who is having some skill set. Okay. Yeah, so I think Abhishek would like to add over here something. Abhishek, yeah, please.
So just to add on what Jandr shared, let's see, you will always have limited skills, limited learnings. So what we have to do is we have to keep on learning. We have to keep on learning. We have to keep upgrading ourselves, and that is the journey of professional engineers. We have to always that. Even if you grow higher and higher, your learnings has to be even more. Okay, so you have to learn. So now if you learn beforehand some skills before joining the organization, those are the guys who are easily spotted, and companies also recognize that he is a person who will be, you will be always in the fast moving zone if you put effort in learning new things. You've already learned at college stage, which was not there in the syllabus, people will be really impressed, with you. That okay, he has put lots of effort towards it. He wanted marketing, he wanted design, he had done some additional training, he has gone through that, so they will really love it. That is what actually people look for. We know that nobody is complete, right? Nobody is complete, nobody knows everything. So we have to keep learning, keep improving. So just if you show the tendency or intention that you are an eager learner, not only by saying, if you just show some proof also, if you can show some reference that you have attended some program and where your intention was that wanted to learn design and you attended design trainings, that will be really good. Okay. I hope I have answered, Ninad. Yes, sir. With one with more skills. Okay.
Yeah. So Sangamesh has also asked one question. So this is the last question which we'll be taking, and then we'll move on. So Sangamesh is asking, he's interested in designing, how to impress interviewer and what are the qualities required. So Sangamesh, just hold on for 2 minutes, because right now we have just talked about the marketing department. Now the next department, which we are going to talk in detail is actually design and engineering, and the design and engineering department in a manufacturing company who is catering to an oil and gas sector. Okay, so this is what we are going to now talk about. So now Abhishek will just come and he will talk about this design and engineering department. I'm sure you will get to know what are the skills required. Yeah, Abhishek, please.
Hi guys. Let us start with the next department, and that is design and engineering. Okay, so we call them the brain. Okay, so design and engineering department is the brain of that company. So every organ is important, right? There's no organ which is superior to other. Don't think like that. So now, see, whenever we say design, what comes in your mind? Whenever, like when you are in, even before joining mechanical engineering or even after, now what you think most of the time is that you will be making some fancy racing cars. You will be doing some innovation of some critical parts you will make, or a fancy motorbike. That is what we think of design, isn't it? Do you agree? Most of you, I cannot say that all of you, but many of you might think like that. Okay. That we will be doing something like that. Okay. So now let us clarify, like I said, oil and gas industry and power plant, fertilizer, pharma, this is the biggest sector which employ a core mechanical engineer. Okay. And there, this is not what we do. Okay, this may be a little bit shocking to you. Okay, Tanish is saying not only this, sir. What else, Tanish? Okay, so now if we just focus on what design and engineering role does, typically in we are trying to say or see the actual oil and gas industry or pharma or petrochemical. These are the industry employ more of the core engineers. So what typically we do? Do we do modeling? See, now what we saw, sometimes we get confused with modeling and design. We try to use softwares like AutoCAD, CATIA, SolidWorks for 3D modeling, and that is what we think that it is design or designing software. No, that is a drafting software. It's not a design software. So this term may vary little. So designing means actually you are trying to make something, maybe some calculations which will determine the strength also. See, only that look is not important. Whatever you are making, it has to have a certain strength to take care or perform the activity which is it's supposed to do that, right? So what now I'll take you through a typical working environment where the engineer works in the oil and gas or similar sector. What we usually do, I have been there in almost 15 years now, so I can definitely tell you what we do in these sectors. So what is the first thing? Study client requirements. Now what is study client requirement does not mean a single mail. It will have lots of attachment. They will simply say a design code. So now you should be familiar with a design code, and design code is not a simple book. It's a full volume. Okay, almost 1,000 pages. So you have to be familiar with that. He will attach some specifications, some standards, which you will have to go through it, see how it is implying the design requirement, whether it is changing some stringent requirement mentioned. So we'll have to go through all these documents. That will be our first activity. So we have to study. Okay, that is basically is design. Basically accumulating all the inputs so that you can perform your design based on that. So once I have accumulated all the inputs, I will design the parts. Whatever part, like if we took example of heat exchanger. So what should be the thickness of that shell? What should be the thickness of tubes? What should be the thickness of flange? All this will calculate based on whatever requirement client has given to us. Making sense? Right, MS, if it is making sense, guys? Right, MS, if it is making sense till now, whatever we have covered? MS, right? MS. Great. Good, Nina, Tanishk, Akash, Aman, Sahil, great. So we'll take the customer requirement, that is the input. Based on that input, we'll design the parts. Okay. Once the design is complete, we'll try to make the drawings, because to fabricate or manufacture, we need the actual drawings. So we prepare the drawing giving all the dimensions. Okay, that is what is design. So it should be suitable for fabrication. All the details required for fabrication, what type of welding, how much thickness of welding, what fillet size I should use, everything will be included in the drawing. Then we'll generate the bill of material based on final drawing, and that will be given to the purchaser. At this time, when we are actually doing job, it is not only for estimation, that will be procured. And based on that, your job has to be made. So any mistake happens during bill of material preparation can be really dangerous, because it will restart the procurement cycle and you will be delayed by 2-3 months at least. It's a very critical activity. You cannot over order also. It will hamper your cost. So you have to order exactly what is required. For that, I hope you understand how much critical this activity becomes. Now, how the typical department of a design look like? Like all of the department, there will be HOD who will be heading that department. He may be around at least 15-20 years of experience. And bigger organization, maybe more, 25-30. Some principal engineers will be reporting to them, 12 to 15 years of experience. Then senior engineers, maybe even 4 to 10 years of experience. And then engineers, maybe 2-3 years of experience, design engineer. Even GETs, GET we call graduate engineer trainee, who are just passed out from college. Freshers. So those are GETs. So GETs also can directly come to design department. Okay, and many organizations prefer that, to take GETs than train them. So once you are not placed in design as a GET, the other option is as a parallel recruitment. After gaining some experience, you recruit. But once you gain experience, if you're not in design, then you'll have to learn design. Okay. So there are lots of buy-in, means how to learn design. We also provide design training. So organization like us comes into picture at that time when people are, even you are in design, you see that you're learning, which you take 5 to 10 years. We can accelerate that. You can do it faster. So your growth will be much faster. You will become principal engineer much earlier. So saving 2-3 years in working, it's a great achievement. So that is how the training programs comes into picture. That is how prefer people take training, so that they can acquire the skills very fast. Okay, because the world has become really fast. You have to move really fast, and that is the only way to go on the top. So these trainings, whatever we are doing, is to make sure that you reach at the top. If you don't want to go at the top, this training does not mean anything for you. Okay, this is not required. Knowing all this thing is not required if you don't want to be at the top. If you want to be at the top, these things are required. Okay, it's just like that. Either 1 or 0. There is nothing in between. If you want to be to reach at the top, you need to acquire the skills really fast. Okay. Then also there will be a draftsman, like I said, sometimes we call it even designer. That term become sometime confusing. Sometimes the draftsman person also called as a designer. So these are the people who will work on AutoCAD, SolidWorks, or many softwares. For you guys, it's really important to understand. See, knowing the software is okay. While you are in engineering, you might be doing lots of training on SolidWorks, AutoCAD. Knowing that is important, but don't make that as a skill and show to the recruiter. If you highlight that you are very good in AutoCAD, they will hire you as a draftsman. They will not hire you as GT or engineer, and you will be developed only in that. So your skills and limitation, to reach at the top will be more. You will be limited only in that role. So that become critical. So don't, even if you are placed somehow, you try to learn the design part and try to move in the next. Okay. Hope you got it. Making sense, guys? Just type make sense MS. Just type MS. You are getting what I am trying to convey. Yeah. Great. Now, like we discussed in project marketing role, the Sanya, who is having experience of 2.5 years in design and engineering role, we are going to see her day. We are going to peek into her day and see what are the activities she is doing and what are the skills required to perform that. Okay. She's a 2.5 years of experience design engineer. She's a senior engineer. It's a 15th January 2021, and she went in the morning to his desk, and what she does first, she prepares a to-do list. So every job, whatever it is, you have to prepare to-do list to perform that activity. Okay. So to-do list first, then check emails and correspondence if anything urgent has come up. Interact with senior if any resolutions to be given to shop. Shop might be asking some dimensions missing in the drawing or something. So she has to interact and then communicate with the shop. Finally, the decision what. So like first 30 minutes are really crucial, and you should focus always on the activity which you have to do. Don't jump in and start one activity. Make a to-do. That this is how you have to see. Very soon you are going to be in the corporate ladder. So if you approach like this, you will move faster. You have to prepare to-do list, compile all the work, whatever you have to perform for the full day, plan it, prioritize what is more important. If you need help from your superior, go with him that this is the activity which I have listed on. Among this 1, 2, I know this is very important. What about others? Whether my prioritization is really good, or you want me to do something else. If you go and approach him like that, he will be really, really happy. He will appreciate, he'll be surprised that you have so much clarity. Now let us move to what Sanya's to-do list, what she has prepared. So some customer RFQ document was given to her. She has to prepare what is required as from a design side. If some calculation has to be done, BOM has to be generated, and cost estimation has to be done, she has to do lots of activities. Second activity she got was modification in design. Some air receiver job was there, and some modification happened. Client wanted some nozzle elevation changed. Okay. So she has mentioned that this activity is required. Some drawing correction was required based on design change, which, if you take the same example, like air receiver nozzle elevation, once you change the design, in the drawing also need to be updated. Then bill of material also need to be updated. That also becomes an activity. There was some job review meeting planned. So every organization will have it will not be a daily activity. Normally it's a monthly or bi-monthly activity. It depends upon organization. She has to go there. Then all the departments will be sitting, and whatever work is required to do to make the project move faster, where it is stuck, that will be discussed, whether which point the job is stuck. Okay. So job review meetings she has to attend. Now let us see what different, like if she has to study the RFQ document, what she will be actually doing. There will be some process data sheet. Process data sheet is what? It is given by the client or the chemical department. This is a process department. So it may be the internal department or maybe external, which will have all the design parameters, then some specification which will give additional requirements, scope of work, what exactly requires to be done, whether designing is in scope or client has already designed and only drawing preparation is in scope, when the delivery has to happen, all these things will be written in scope of work. Then what will be deliverables, whether I have to prepare a design report and submit, the drawings need to be submitted, or the bill of material also need to be submitted. Then project duration, how long it will go. Based on that, she can prepare the manpower, how many people will be required to working on that. So that was the study of RFQ. Then if some modification is required, the second activity of Sanya was to modify the air receiver design. Now what she has to do, clarity on input, whether what change is required and whether that change is given in writing or not, because oral communication can be really dangerous. So any design change which you have to perform, you should take that in writing, maybe client or internal communication. If from shop it's coming, take that in writing. Study effect of change on other. See, we are already exceeded half an hour, so I'm going a little bit faster. If you guys have any question, just type in the chat box. Don't wait. Okay, and just type, and if you're able to understand, that is okay. So study the effect of changes. If you are doing change at one location, whether it will have a multiple implication, whether some other parts also need to be modified because of that, that study you need to perform. After all that is happening, you have identified what change, which part need to be changed, run the design. Guys, just keep yourself muted if you don't have any question. Yeah. So, okay, the redesign will happen once you have identified. Then you will check with the code compliance. Don't go into so much detail. Just understand the typical scenario. Just try to feel what is happening. That is also okay. Don't have to dig deep in that. Then the next activity was drawing correction. So she will have to mark the changes in the drawing that she will give to the draftsman, which will be reporting to her. So once that correction is done, he will give the document back to her, and then she will check the correctness of the drawing and finally submit to client, internal or external. Internally, maybe submitted to shop. If review from client is required, then that also need to be performed. So that will be a typical activity for whatever change was done. The BOM need to be updated. Bill of material need to be updated, right? Now the old BOM does not reflect the right design. So once that BOM is changed, it has to be sent to planning department, because they have to now plan for the procurement, or they have some extra material. They will decide what to do with that change. Okay. Then in job review meeting, she has to prepare the status of document. She has to keep it ready so that anybody is asking that when that drawing is coming, she should be able to tell the exact date. Before this date, I'll submit that document. Okay, so that other department can plan their activity accordingly. Hope hope it is making sense, guys. Just type MS just to see whether I'm going at right path and pace. MS, right? Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening. Great. So any concerns is if it is required from her side, she can point out, because the head of department also will be present there. So she can point out that she needs particular help. And if you are going for help, like Jandra also mentioned, the best way is to also show some solution of it. Always try to, any concern, what is the probable solution from your side? What is best the person can do, he will do. But he is really looking forward to see from you that what solution. So don't approach any, if you are not able to find anything at all, then it is okay. No, you can approach always. But if you are approaching with solution also, that is always best. Okay. So design and engineering department interacts with customer, PMG, because PMG interacts with all the departments, marketing. Okay, so these are the main departments with which design department interacts. Now, what are the functional role which perform and what are the skills which were required? Let us map that so that it will give you better idea. And there was one question also related to that. So study of customers RFQ document. I'm just writing the role or the task which was performed, and then we'll see the skill related to that. Modification in design was required, drawing correction, then updation in BOM, and then job review meeting. Okay. What is the skill required with related to that? Customer RFQ document. You need knowledge. Vinayak, just keep yourself muted. Vinayak, just keep yourself muted. If you're not keep yourself muted, I'll have to remove you. Okay, great. You are starting also. Just a minute. Okay, so domain knowledge is required, because domain knowledge, when I say awareness of code, the habit of reading specifications, those things will be required, right? If you have pre-knowledge of the code, design code, which is mostly you're going to use, like if you are to go to oil and gas sector, what is the code we use for design in oil and gas sector for a pressure vessel, guys? Do you know that? What is the code which is required for design in oil and gas for a pressure vessel? Anybody can write that? ASME code, right, Tanish? Very good. ASME code is used for design, and section 8 division 1, that is the most widely used. Okay, and that is the topmost importance. If you want to be in a design role, that is what I'll recommend, that you read ASME. But reading ASME by self is really difficult. You will need guidance. Okay, and we are there. If you need any guidance, we are definitely there to help you in that. So code knowledge is required. Design ERP software to make the inputs. Team management, if she has to manage lots of activities, that will be required. Drafting software is required. Okay, GD&T knowledge, geometrical dimensioning and tolerancing knowledge is required. Welding symbols knowledge. MS Excel. Excel is a software which will be used by across the department. Very important software. Communication. She has to participate in review meetings, client meeting. Communication is important also for almost all the department. And if you improve the communication, you will move really faster in your corporate life. Okay, I hope that clarifies the design and engineering role, guys. Is it clear, guys? Is it making sense what we will do in design and engineering? So very in short, the particular department we have tried to compile these requirements. Okay, so I hope that is making sense. Yeah, Neera is saying yes. What about others? If any question you have, guys, just feel free to ask. We have already exceeded, so we'll not like you to take with other departments, because it's does not make sense to do that in hurry. And we already crossed 1:30, so we'll like to close this tour activity right now. We'll focus on the main outcome which we thought we'll be giving it to you. So let us go to the workbook. Only one activity is left. Okay, and let us complete that. Are you guys with me? Say with you if you are with me. Type with you in chat box if you are with me on what we have to do next. Great, great. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate. So now let us go to, I'll just open. We have prepared other slides for other departments, but now because of time limitation. Okay. Now guys, what we have done, you have already, I hope you can see that screen where we have presented that workshop. We are on page 4. If you can open that, it's really good. So you have already tick marked the skills which you think you possess. Okay. Now against those skills, we want you to give the rating for that skill. Now the question will come that how I'll rate myself in that. What will be the basis? Because we don't want it to be just an imaginary value. We want it to have a basis so that it will mean something, it should mean something for you. So now I'll just give you an idea that how you have to approach this skill rating activity. The main thing is that in this activity, for each and every skill which you have tick marked, for that you have to rate. Okay, so whatever you have already tick marked, you can rate for those activities only. If you might have missed something and you want to tick it now, that is also okay, not a problem. Okay, now if you have already ticked a skill, you see that you have to rate it in the rating of 0 to 5. 0 is the minimum, 5 is the maximum. Okay, now how the guideline, let us see, we have listed skills like MS Word, MS Excel, MS Project, or MS PowerPoint. These are the skills. Now how you will rate yourself for those skills? If you haven't put a tick mark for those skills, you don't have to rate, just write 0 in front of that. Great. So if you haven't mentioned it as a skill, you have not tick marked, you put 0 there. In case you have a tick mark, okay, then you see whether you have attended any training program, even maybe 1 day or 2 day or online. Okay, if you have attended a training program or webinar particular to that skill, okay, like if you're talking about MS Word, Excel, whether have you attended any training program, then you can give, if yes, then you can give either 4 or 5 based on outcome. If you think that no, I've done the training program which was 5 days and I have lots of skill now, I'm good at Excel or Word or project, you can rate yourself 4 or 5. If you have self-learned, you must have watched some YouTube video, or some books you might have read, some friends might have helped you in doing. So some self-learning sources. Rohit has asked question, it's basic dashboard or Excel, then it's
Training from a professional trainer.
It's only for our see 4 or 5 only if you have attended paid training from a professional trainer. If you have attended a training from a professional engineer, a paid training, not a free training, then you can rate yourself 4 or 5. If you have self-learned, like now you're saying a free training or YouTube websites, you can rate yourself 3. Okay, if you have used this software, you have not attended training, not gone to the website to learn, you have used it maybe for project work or preparing something, you use that software, you can rate yourself 1 or 2 based upon your understanding which level you start. Okay, is it clear guys, whether this part is clear about MS Word, Excel, Project, PowerPoint? Right, yes, if it's clear. So can you now complete at least the rating for these part? If you have put a tick mark, You know how to rate. If you have not booked, then 0. Can you just complete immediately? Okay, if you do it immediately along with us, it will be much faster. So you can immediately put the rating against these skills, whatever is listed here: MS Word, MS Excel, MS Project, and MS PowerPoint. Once it's completed, just type done. Once it's completed, even if you're putting 0, put that and say done. Done. It don't take more than 1 minute. Just do it. Okay. Don't think too much. It's nothing to think. It's only for your personal use, developing you as a personally. So nothing right or wrong in this. Just completing that activity is more important than doing it rightly or wrong. Great. So I think most of you have already done it. Done, guys. Do it. It will make lots of sense at the end of it. So just do it. Meanwhile, I'll explain the next activity. The skills related to corporate email writing, corporate etiquette, or communication. If you have put a tick mark, if you haven't put a tick mark, then you can straight away put 0. You can do it right now. If you have one tick mark, you can put 0. If you have put a tick mark, same philosophy. If you have attended a paid training among any of this, you can put a rating for that skill as 4 or 5. If you have done some work on that, okay, under professional guidance, if you have done something, if you have worked as an internship in any organization and communicated, okay, and you felt that it was good, you can rate yourself 3. If just random feeling you have said that, okay, I have the skills, then you put yourself in either 1 or 2 rating. Done for this page number 7, corporate email writing etiquette communication. Can you put that rating right now, guys? Just do it fast. If you do it fast, you will be free fast. Okay, do it. Say done in the chat box once you complete, so that at least I have few done, then I can move forward. Don't think too much. Okay, it's really simple. If you have attended a paid training, 4 or 5. If you have done some work under some guidance, or you have worked in a corporate as an internship, put 3 as a rating. If you have just tick marked based on your random feeling, just put 1 or 2. We will not ask you to share here, so don't worry about that. You will not be sharing among the group. It is only personal to you. And if you want us to help, you can send that snap to us. I'll guide you how to do that once you complete it. So don't worry about that, it will be projected or it will be discussed. No, nothing at all. It will not be discussed with anyone. It's only particular to you. If you are doing in group, then you will be worried. Okay. If you are doing alone, you need not be worried. Okay, so there are lots of skills mentioned here. Next, as a problem solving, team management, conflict management, negotiations. See, most of the skills are such that it's very rare to get it at college level. So if you haven't listed that as a skill, you have not tick mark, put it 0. If you have attended a paid training for the skill which is mentioned here, you can put that rating as 5. If you have worked in an organization, you have done internship, or if you have organized a cultural event is also very, a thing where you need problem solving, you need team management, you need conflict management. So if you have organized, I'm not saying participation, I'm saying if you have been or if you have organized it as a member of that committee of a cultural or tech event, then you can rate yourself either 3 or 5 based on your involvement in that. Got that, guys? If you regularly volunteer for social or community activity, if that is what you do regularly, that if any social activities there, you try to go there, try to be involved, then you can put yourself 3. Okay, if you have worked under any professional or manager during internship, that time also you can put yourself 3. If you have just a random feeling that you have the skill, you cannot put more than 2 rating. Got it, guys? Now just complete the rating for this. Should not take more than 30 seconds. Just complete that. Problem solving, team management, conflict management, negotiation. Just put the rating against it. Okay, just type done if you have completed that. Great, I have few done already. I will just wait for 10 seconds. Just do that. Be blunt with yourself. This is only for you. Nobody else is going to see that. Now, skill rating. For code reading, this is mainly for design related. So person who is mainly want to develop design skills, so code reading habit, design software, drafting software. Okay. So as usual, if you haven't put a tick mark, you can put 0. In case you have put a tick mark, if you have attended a paid training, then you put 5 or 4. If you have worked under a professional engineer internship, which you have done in design, you can put either 4 or 3 based on your involvement. Okay. See this rating we will go through, guys, and we will like to help you to move in the right direction. So there is nothing wrong in putting yourself at lower rating. Okay. That will give you a chance to improve. If you are at 2, you can easily go to 3. So we will guide you based on this. Okay. So be really frank and true to yourself. Just based on random feeling, if you have done, then write 1 or 2. Say done if you have already done this code reading, design software, drafting software. Sit complete. Done, done, done. Just write done. Write done if you already done. Okay. Then there is ERP software, scheduling software, and basic of finance. Again, same funda applies. If you have attended a training, that is okay. If you have worked as a under a professional engineer or manager, that time also in this case, because it's not expected to go for training in these skills right now. It is not expected. It's a very particular and corporate level activities. So nobody expects you to know at least ERP and scheduling. Basic of finance is required even for personal level. So before earning, if you know about finances, it will help you personally also. Okay. So even if you have worked under professional engineer or a manager during internship, you can rate yourself 3. Just random filling 1 or 2. Okay. So, and very important, please note that these are organization level skills. Okay. So you're not expected to have. So even a basic rating in this is good. Okay. So don't worry about that. Say done if you have completed that. Say done if you have completed ERP, scheduling, basic of finance. It will not take even 15-20 seconds for you now. I hope everybody, and we have already got some done in the chat box. Great, great, great. So now the next thing is again related to something design, engineering drawing preparation, material grades information, geometrical dimensioning and tolerancing, building symbols, and basics of mathematics. Okay. So, like I said earlier, if you have not tick mark the skills, you can put 0. See now, see these are the skills which is opposite to what we saw as a earlier one. This was corporate skill which you don't even, we are not expecting you to have. These are the skills which you are expected to have at college level. Okay, so we never expect a 0 in this, right? So engineer should possess, like engineering drawing is a subject, isn't it, for all of us? So engineering drawing, we need to know how to study. So 0 does not comes into the picture for any of basic mathematics. Is also a course in mechanical and other departments also. So definitely you need to have some rating. Okay, in that building symbols may or may not be. Okay, that is okay. I can expect that building, we don't talk much about building symbols. So we can expect a 0 rating there, not a problem. But be a complete badass with you, be completely straightforward, ruthless in giving yourself rating. Okay, great. I hope you have completed. This was the last thing. Say done if you have completed for all. Any confusion, guys? Tell me about any skill. Say done if you have completed that activity. Say done in the chat box if you have completed all this. GD&T is geometrical dimension and tolerancing. So we engineering drawing, we used to give the dimensioning, isn't it? So tolerance we used to mention in the engineering drawing when we prepare, we always give the dimension. So it's a topic and a subject. So see if you have done, if you know, put some rating. If you don't, put 0. Nothing to worry. Okay. Got it, sir. Done. Okay, great. Vinayak, Akash, Ninad, Darshak. Now say completed if you have done the complete activity. Completed if you have already completed. I have seen some completed. Yeah. Okay, guys. So really completed. Good. Great, guys. Great. You are really good. You are extracting what maximum possible from this. Good. Now what to do with this skill set which you have now accumulated at page number 5, 4 and 5. So what to do with this? I'll tell you shortly what to do with this. Before that, I want you to do one activity which is really important for us, whether we are doing right thing, or we need some improvement, whether the program was useful for you at all, you found lots of new information where you expect us to be even to cover some topics, or what you expected was not there, anything. We will love to have your feedback, guys. Unless we keep that feedback system, the learning is not going to be, and that is for us, nothing to relate with you. So I'll just post a link here. Okay, and you have to just give a brief feedback, whatever you feel, not only good bad like that. Just write 1 or 2 sentences, at least that much you can do for us, guys. Can you do, say yes in the chat box if you can do that much for us? Can you at least give us feedback? Yes, great. I'll now just post that. Just a minute, I'll post that. Just post the link. Okay, just minimize that. Just post. Just a minute. I'll post a link, which is a Google page of our company. So I like to have your guys feedback on that. Okay, I've stopped sharing. Just a minute. Go and I'll just share uh, in the chat box that link I have shared now. Let us see if you are able to access that. Just click on that. You will go to the MCAT Solutions Google page. Just write one or two sentences about the program, whether it was good, what was your takeaway, at least one takeaway, two takeaway you can mention. Okay, that will be great if you can do that. One or two key takeaways from this program. Okay, and if you feel something to be improved, you can mention that also. Okay, that will be really helpful for us. So please do that. I'm just waiting for you guys to complete that activity. Just say thumbs up if you have already done it, or write done, whatever you feel. If you want to write done, just write done. Post done in the chat box if you have already done that. Unable to see the link, it's there in the chat box, guys. Are you able to open? Okay, I have my mistake, guys. I have sent it to personal link. Just a minute. Sorry. Now I have posted for everyone. It went to a direct message to Tanishk only. So now I think you guys can see that. And once you complete that, please say done in the chat box or give a thumbs up. One or two sentence, mainly with what is your takeaway from that program, and if any improvement is required, that. So these two things, if you can mention, that will be really great for us. One or two takeaways, and whether that program was, it met your expectations or not. Done, Ninad. Thank you, Ninad. Thank you for doing that. What about others? Have you done that? So that is going to be really useful for us, guys. It will help others also to find us if they want to get trained with us. So if you felt that was good, your comment is going to help others also. Okay, so think that in that manner, and it will help us to and promote us. It will encourage us to bring lots of similar programs to you guys, where we can bring some industrial experience to you. Okay, Rohit has done, Tanishk has done. Thank you, guys. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for that. Yeah, please, only 3 4 now. Please do that, guys. Do that. All of you, please complete that. Done. Dakshak has also completed. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Rohit. Great, guys. Do it. I hope you can see the link. I'll just post it again. If it is not visible, I'll just post it again. Just complete that activity. That is our takeaway from that program. You can say it like that. And we will definitely keep on improving, keep on making few programs. We have put lots of effort along with Jandra and myself to, for this is a one of a type program. We have also not attended a program like this, and always hope that in engineering, if somebody was there to guide us like this, even if little bit takeaway you take, that is going to be a great in long term. Okay, so even as one takeaway for this program is going to help you. Nice, please complete it. I have only 4 5 6 yes done till now. Just do it, everybody. Please do that. Okay, now what to do with the activity which we have done with 4 and 5 page. Now you just take a snapshot of that 4 and 5 page. On 5th page, you can see there is a name mentioned. You can write your name here. You should write your name, your contact number and email ID by which we will be able to communicate with you. Okay. We will go through, will analyze your skill and will try to suggest as per our information, our best understanding, which role you are more suitable to. Okay, based on the ratings which you have got, you have given for different skills, we will compile all that, and with our expertise, we will like to give you the suggestion that which role may be more suited for you. Got it, guys? What is the takeaway for you? You have to take a snapshot. You can see the WhatsApp number is mentioned and the email ID is also mentioned. You can do anything with that. You can WhatsApp personally. You don't have to post in the group. You personally, you have this WhatsApp number on your screen, on the workbook. Just WhatsApp that even after this class. Don't worry about immediately you have to do it. No, but many times if you don't do it immediately, you never do it. So either you do it right now, or you can do within 1 hour or immediately after the session closes, because that will be your actual learning. That will be the main takeaway from this, that you will get a hint that which role right now. It's not like that is what you meant for. You can always improve the other skill and go in any direction. But right now, which are the skills which are suited for which role, how to improve that skill, what is the next step, that also will recommend. Okay, we'll also recommend what skills, how to develop them, and how you will reach your dream placement, because dream placement is what where your skill lies and where you will grow faster, you will enjoy working there. That is your dream placement. Akash is saying where to send. So there is WhatsApp number mentioned on the 5th page, Akash. That is my WhatsApp number, might be always already with you. So just send it to that 7977940765. If you want, I can just send that in the chat box too. You can send that to this number. Yeah, Rohit has already given to you 7977. So on this number, just give a snap. We will try to evaluate based on our understanding that which role may be at this stage suitable for you and what should be your next step. That is very important. What are the training programs which you should attend, so that once you go there, you will be star already in that field. You will not be a loser, you will look like a star, and you have to be a star. And that is how we'll try to help you. Okay, guys, got it. We'll be keep on making several sessions like this if you have liked it, and we'll keep informing you about if of any session is coming. And we will also be coming to your colleges now. Okay, we have tie up with, we already attached with lots of colleges. So now we are scaling a lot, and we will be coming personally to your college, and we'll be offering some project courses. Okay, and those project courses will be of very small, it will be paid definitely, but very small amount, but it will have a capability to skill you a lot. It will take your skill level from 1 to 5. That is our guarantee. So we will be very shortly coming to your college personally. We'll doing some workshop like this, maybe other, not similar. This is just for webinar, but we will be doing lots of similar activities, and we are going to reach you very sooner. Okay, so done, guys. Jant, you have to share anything, or will just close?
Again, thanks a lot to all of you, for listening to us patiently. We appreciate your time, your patience, everything. Just the last word, what Abhishek said, do send us, this page number 4 and 5, very important, because, this is not an end of this presentation, but this is a start of a new journey. Okay, we would like to see you climbing great heights in future. Okay, so this is just a beginning, guys. Okay, thanks a lot once again for attending the class. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed this session and keep on learning. That is the best way to move forward, and this which engineers do actually. So keep learning. All the best. Thank you. Thank you, Tanish. Thank you, Akash. We'll just close this session, guys. Bye bye. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.